Good evening, guys. This is Neutron Performance. Just wanted to explain to you guys what I did here today. I installed the RSX Type S oil pump, installed the windage tray, installed the chain, the OEM tensioner, and the guide. All that's installed. Everything's torqued down. I had a huge problem when I went to torque down these oil pump housing bolts. You know, sometimes I think that trying to be too perfect will sometimes end up biting you where you don't want it to bite you. And I had a problem. See, the bolts that are supplied by Ford Piston Racing with this oil pump housing, they supply you 3 bolts. That's this one, and one back here. Well, the bolt back there, which is a small one, it's this one here. It doesn't have a washer on it. It's a real small 10mm bolt. Well, I went to go torque this down, and I torqued these down to, I believe, in the service manual it said 22 foot-pounds. So these went to 22 foot-pounds, no problem. But I couldn't find, I knew that this one had to have been different because it was a smaller bolt. But I went ahead and torqued it down by hand because I was kind of sketchy about that bolt being torqued down at 22 foot-pounds. So I torqued it down by hand, and I over torqued it by hand, and I stripped the threads that thread this bolt down into the girdle. So I stripped that bolt, the threads out of the girdle for this bolt on this oil pump housing. These two are fine, but this back here, which is important because it kind of strengthens, you know, it gives the pump stability and extra strength. So I had a huge problem with that. I ended up stripping out the threads for that. So I could no longer use that bolt that was supplied by Ford Piston Racing. So what I had to do is I found an equivalent bolt from, it's a Honda bolt, and you can see it right there. But it was different threads. So I'm telling you guys, one of the best investments you can invest in is a tap and die set. I have this little cheap tap and die set here, you know, and it basically, I was able to solve my issue. So I was able to find a bolt that was just a little bit bigger than the bolt that was supposed to go in there, and it was about the same length, and it's a Honda bolt, so it's perfect. It's got a flange on it, and it's a lot stronger than the bolt that was supposed to go in there anyways. So I retapped it, you know, and I threaded it in perfectly. I put it all back together, tighten it all down by hand, you know, forget that 22 foot-pounds. I'm done trying to be delicate and sorry about that, guys. I tripped on this chair here. But yeah, guys, sometimes trying to be delicate and, you know, and just being all perfect and everything will, you know, if you've been working on these things long enough, it kind of, it will bite you sometimes. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about it that whenever you're trying to do things perfectly, it'll bite you in the rear end. So just be careful with these bolts, you know, especially this one in the back. If you over torque it, or if you're not careful, you know, just tighten it, do it by hand. As soon as you start to feel that it's tight, you know, give it another snug, and that's it. Forget that torque wrench, honestly. So I got all these down, you know, everything's put back together. Right now I'm just cleaning up the oil pan. Oil pan, I'm cleaning it up real nice. I'm gonna spray some black paint on it, and that's it. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it if you'd like, share, subscribe, and until next time, thank you very much.